Hi everyone, it's Mike here. So it's the start of November and the weather here in the UK has definitely started to turn very autumnal with very cold, foggy, chilly mornings, and it's time to bring out the warm winter woolies. So now it's the start of a new month. That also means that it's the start of a new Mission Inspiration over on the Mission Inspiration Facebook page. So if you'd like to join this month, then all you have to do is to visit the page that's been displayed on screen now, and I'll also put the link in the description area below. And as usual, I will show you the mission brief for the month, and then I will show you the project that I've created, and then I will be back with you again at the end. Welcome, Art Agent Specialists. Your mission for November, should you wish to accept it, is as follows. Step 1. Cover your page with a paper lattice. Step 2. Add a thin coat of white gesso or paint. Step 3. Make marks with warm tonal colours. Step 4. Add collage elements from nature. Step 5. Add book text fragments. Step 6. Add sequins, glitter or mica. Step 7. Add doodles, scribbles or zentangles. Step 8. Add a focal image. Step 9. Add journaling, a quote or a phrase. And finally, Step 10. Add drips or splashes of gold. Remember, this message will self-destruct in 3 seconds. Good luck. So for step 1, it's cover your page with a paper lattice. Now for this I have an autumnal coloured and themed paper napkin that I've cut into strips so I can glue down using the Aliens Collage Pouch in matte all over my page. So I'm going to create a lattice pattern out of strips of this tissue napkin. So all my strips are now glued down and arranged in a lattice kind of gridwork pattern on my page, so I'm just going to give it a blast and then move on to step number 2, which is to add a thin coat of white gesso or paint. Now all I'm doing is just adding some gesso to my glass mat that I have underneath my journal page, and I've just added some water to it just to water it down a little bit, and then I'm just going to give the page a complete covering of the white gesso. So my page now has a complete coating of that thin gesso wash. So all I need to do now is to make sure it's all nice and dry before we move on to step number 3. So step number 3 is to make marks with warm tonal colours. And for this, I'm using the medium yellow acrylic paint, the cadmium yellow deep, the yellow ochre, I'm using lime green, and I'm also going to use the brilliant red acrylic paint from Reeves. A nice warm autumnal palette. And to make marks on my page, I'm just using a small wooden handle that I picked up for pence at a local DIY store. So I've started off using the medium yellow acrylic paint. I've just painted the end. As you can see, I'm just rubbing the end of the handle into the paint, and then just randomly dabbing it onto the page across the kind of middle section of the page. Now this is the cadmium yellow deep, which is a little bit orangey. So again, still sticking with that autumnal kind of palette. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing again with the yellow ochre. Again, so this is more of a mustardy colour, a bit deeper, more brown tone in this, just to get that nice variation on those autumnal leaf colours. So just to add a little bit of variation in there, I'm using the lime green. I'm not putting too many of these down because if you look at autumnal leaves on trees, there's always one or two that don't turn completely golden before they drop. And finally, just to add a little bit of variation and a little bit of pop of colour, I wanted to introduce some red into the palette. So instead of using the door handle again, I've used some bubble wrap. It's a circular pattern and I think it works quite well, just adding those little pops of red into the background. So I'm happy with the way the colours are sitting on the page, so I just need to give it a quick blast before moving on to the next step. So step number 4 is to add collage elements from nature. Now I didn't want to go outside into my garden and pick up a load of wet leaves to stick down in my art journal, so instead I've taken the easy way out. I had a napkin that had some beautiful leaf patterns on there, so I decided to use those instead. I've also been sent some nice autumnal leaf shapes in Happy Mail recently, which I'm also going to use in a little while, but for now I'm just going to stick down those cutouts from the paper napkins that were sent to me, and then I'm going to, as I'm just doing now, sticking down those fabric leaves that were sent to me in Happy Mail from Lauren Hughes. So as you can see, I'm concentrating sticking the leaf patterns at the top of the page and at the bottom of the page, because my mark making with all those warm colours has concentrated on going across the middle. So I'm creating a kind of top and bottom border effect using these cutout leaves and embellishments. So I think I've got enough of that matte medium on top of all those leaf fragments that they're not going to go anywhere. So time to give it a dry and move on. Step number 5 is to add book text fragments. So I've torn out some book text fragments from an old copy of Journey to the Centre of the Earth by Jules Verne. This was a water damaged copy that I picked up for about 10 pence from a charity store. I've just torn out some of the fragments. I've torn out some of the words that I think work quite well on this page, and I'm just randomly sticking them down, making sure that I've put in chapter headings and also actual chapter numbers that I've also included on the page. So I've got all the fragments that I want to put down now, so all I need to do is just to make sure that the glue is nice and dry before we can move on. So for step number 6, you have the choice to add either sequins, glitter or mica. Now for me, I wanted to add some glitter to the leaves top and bottom, just to add a little bit of kind of a hint of frost or a little bit of coldness to the page. So I've added the stickles from the bottle, and then just taking a small detail brush, I'm just going to paint that glitter over and blend it into my leaves. And because I've never heated stickles up to dry quickly, I didn't want to put the heat gun on this, so I'm going to put my page to one side to let that dry naturally before moving on to the next step. I'm not sure how the glitter would react to the heat, so I've decided to play it safe. Step number 7 is to add doodles, scribbles or Zentangles. Now I had forgotten to press record on this when I did my first set of scribbles, so I just managed to catch the second and third set as I was putting them on. So this is a number 5 micron Pigma pen from Sakura, and it's great for adding your doodles and scribbles around objects on your page. So step number 8 is to add a focal image. So I downloaded a public domain image of an acorn from the World Wide Web that I'm going to stick down using the matte medium on my page, and then I'm going to just heat it quickly and then grab that Sakura and football pen, and I'm just going to give that some scribbly outlines as well. So I'm happy with the doodling on the page, so it's time to move on to step number 9, which is to add journaling, quote or a phrase. Now for this I printed out a quick quote from the internet. I think I found this on Pinterest, so I just typed it out quickly into Word and then printed it off on my Canon printer. I'm just trimming off the excess around the word blocks, ready to stick it down on my page. And again, I'm just going to use that collage polish just to stick it down on the page. Now, I'm being very careful around where I've done my scribbles because I know that sometimes they do react again with liquids, and I didn't want to smudge and make a complete hot black mess on the page. So I have been a little bit careful, but I did manage to catch a little bit just on the bottom of the top section of my last word block. But hey, I'm only human, I do make mistakes, and things do go wrong occasionally. Now that my word blocks are dry on the page, I can add some doodling to blend it into the rest of the page using that Pigma pen. So I'm just going to go all the way around the word blocks, and then I decided that I wanted to try and integrate them and integrate the doodles a little bit more into the page. So I decided to link them to the scribbles and the doodles that I did down the sides of the page to make it look as though there were tendrils, like plant tendrils, kind of holding them in place. So I'm happy with the doodling, so it's time to move on to the last and final step, which is to add drips or splashes of gold. Now for this I'm using the Indigo Blue Goldfinger Gold Metallic Acrylic Paint. So I've just mixed some on my glass mat with a little bit of water, and with the fan brush I'm just going to splash those gold splatters and highlights across the page just to add that little bit of interest. Because the splatters are only tiny little specks of metallic gold, they don't take too long to dry, so I'm going to grab my heat gun, give it a quick blast, get them all nice and dried, and then I will hold it up for the camera so you can see the sparkle and the bling. And then all that remains for me to do is to sign and date it, and this page is complete. Mission accomplished. So I hope you enjoyed that autumnal page for my mission inspiration for November. So again, if you want to participate with the group, then all you have to do is to visit the link or click in the link in the description area below, and you can join in and have some fun too. That's all from me for the mission inspiration for this month. I'll be back again in December for that, but I'll have a normal art journal project ready for you next Tuesday. So I will see you all again then. And I almost forgot to say, don't forget, if you have enjoyed the video, please remember to give it a thumbs up, share the video with all your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of this video. That's all from me. I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.